Have you ever felt like your emotions are running wild, controlling your life? Like you're on a roller coaster you can't get off? What if I told you there's a way to take charge of your feelings, using the wisdom of spiritual practices? By the time you finish watching this video, you'll have powerful tools to master your emotions and find inner peace. Get ready to transform your emotional life. Let's talk about emotions. They're not just feelings that pop up randomly. Emotions are like messengers from our inner self. They tell us important things about our experiences and the world around us. Sometimes, emotions are helpful. They can make us feel happy when good things happen or warn us when something's not right. But emotions can also be tricky. They can be so strong that they overwhelm us, making it hard to think clearly or make good choices. From a spiritual point of view, emotions are like energy flowing through us. Just as we can learn to direct the flow of water in a river, we can learn to guide the flow of our emotional energy. This doesn't mean shutting off our feelings. Instead, it's about understanding them better and using them in ways that help us grow and be happier. Think about how you feel when you're really excited. That bubbly, energetic feeling is emotional energy in action. Now imagine being able to tap into that energy whenever you need it, or being able to calm it down when it's too much. That's what emotional control is all about. Now, let's look at what happens when we don't have a handle on our emotions. We've all been there. Maybe you've snapped at a friend because you were stressed about something else. Or perhaps you felt so worried about a problem that you couldn't sleep or enjoy your day. These are examples of emotions taking control. When our emotions run wild, they can cause all sorts of problems. They can damage our relationships, hurt our performance at work or school, and even affect our health. It's like trying to drive a car with a broken steering wheel. You're moving, but not in the direction you want to go. Here's a simple example. Imagine you're having a great day. The sun is shining and everything's going well. Then, someone cuts you off in traffic. Suddenly, you're angry. That anger might stay with you, ruining the rest of your day. You might snap at your family when you get home or feel too upset to enjoy your evening. All because of one moment where an emotion took over. From a spiritual perspective, this lack of emotional control throws us off balance. It's like a storm that disrupts the calm surface of a lake. When we're out of balance emotionally, it's hard to connect with our deeper self or the world around us in a meaningful way. But here's the good news. It doesn't have to be this way. Just as we can learn to balance on a bicycle, we can learn to balance our emotions. It takes practice, but it's a skill anyone can develop. Now, let's shift our perspective and look at emotions through a spiritual lens. This view can completely change how we understand and deal with our feelings. In many spiritual traditions, emotions are seen as more than just reactions to what's happening around us. They're viewed as important messages from our inner self or our soul. It's like our deeper wisdom is trying to communicate with us through our feelings. For example, when you feel angry, it might be a sign that something in your life goes against your values or that a boundary has been crossed. Sadness might be telling you that you need to pay attention to a loss or a need for healing. Even positive emotions like joy or love are messages, reminding you of what's truly important in your life. The key is learning to listen to these messages without being controlled by them. It's like having a conversation with a friend. You want to hear what they have to say, but you don't necessarily have to do everything they suggest. This spiritual approach to emotions also recognizes that our feelings connect us to something larger than ourselves. When you feel compassion for someone, for instance, you're tapping into a universal human experience. When you feel awe while looking at a beautiful sunset, you're connecting with the wonder of nature. By viewing emotions this way, we can start to see them as tools for growth and self-understanding rather than obstacles to overcome. It's not about getting rid of emotions or always feeling happy. Instead, it's about understanding the wisdom behind our feelings and using that wisdom to live more fulfilling lives. This doesn't mean we should let our emotions control us. Just like a river needs banks to guide its flow, we need to learn how to guide our emotions. We can acknowledge and respect our feelings without being swept away by them. Think of it like this. Your emotions are like a compass. They point you in certain directions, but you're still the one who decides where to go. By learning to read this emotional compass accurately, you can navigate your life with more clarity and purpose. As we move forward, we'll explore practical techniques to help you develop this emotional awareness and control. These methods are rooted in spiritual wisdom but are practical and easy to apply in everyday life. They'll help you listen to the messages your emotions are sending without losing your balance. Remember, the goal isn't to become emotionless. It's to become emotionally wise. By understanding the spiritual nature of our emotions, we can use them as powerful tools for personal growth, better relationships, and a more fulfilling life. In the next part of our journey, we'll dive into specific techniques that can help you develop this emotional wisdom. These are practical tools you can start using right away to bring more balance and clarity to your emotional life. Get ready to discover the power of mindful breathing, a simple yet profound practice that can transform how you experience and respond to your emotions. Let's start with a powerful technique that's been used for thousands of years: mindful breathing. This might sound too simple to be effective, but don't be fooled. Mindful breathing is like a superpower for your emotions. Here's how it works. When you focus on your breath, you create a pause between what's happening around you and how you react to it. It's like pressing a pause button on your emotions, giving you a moment to choose how you want to respond. Let's try a quick exercise together. Take a deep breath in through your nose, filling your lungs. Now, slowly breathe out through your mouth. Feel the air moving in and out. Do this a few times. Notice how your body feels as you breathe. Are your shoulders relaxing? Does your mind feel a bit clearer? This simple act of focusing on your breath does something amazing. It brings you into the present moment. When you're fully present, you're not caught up in worries about the future or regrets about the past. You're right here, right now. From a spiritual perspective, mindful breathing connects you to the life force that flows through everything. Some traditions call this prana or chi. Whatever name you give it, when you breathe mindfully, you're tapping into this universal energy. The best part about mindful breathing is that you can do it anywhere, anytime. Stuck in traffic and feeling frustrated? Take a few mindful breaths. Nervous before a big presentation? Breathe. Feeling overwhelmed by a strong emotion? Yep, you guessed it, breathe. By practicing mindful breathing regularly, you're training your mind to be calmer and more focused. It's like building a muscle. The more you do it, the stronger your ability to stay centered becomes. And when you're centered, you're in a much better position to handle whatever emotions come your way. Now that we've got the hang of mindful breathing, let's move on to another powerful technique: emotional observation. This might sound fancy, but it's actually quite simple. It's all about watching your emotions without getting caught up in them. Imagine you're sitting on a hill, watching clouds pass by in the sky. Some clouds are big and dark, others are light and fluffy. But no matter what kind of clouds they are, you just sit and watch them float past. You don't try to hold on to the nice clouds or push away the stormy ones. You just observe. Now, imagine doing the same thing with your emotions. When a feeling comes up, whether it's anger, joy, sadness, or excitement, you simply notice it. Oh, there's anger, you might think. Or, I see that I'm feeling happy right now. The key is to do this without judging your emotions or trying to change them. You're not labeling them as good or bad. You're just noticing them, like those clouds in the sky. This practice of emotional observation creates a kind of space between you and your feelings. It's like you're taking a step back and watching your emotions from a distance. This space is incredibly powerful. It gives you the freedom to choose how you want to respond to your feelings, rather than just reacting automatically. From a spiritual perspective, this practice helps you connect with your deeper self, the part of you that's aware of your thoughts and feelings but isn't controlled by them. Some traditions call this your witness consciousness or your observing self. As you get better at observing your emotions, you might start to notice patterns. Maybe certain situations always seem to trigger anger, or particular thoughts lead to anxiety. This awareness is the first step to understanding your emotional world better. Remember, the goal isn't to get rid of your emotions. Emotions are an important part of being human. The goal is to develop a new relationship with your feelings, one where you can experience them fully without being overwhelmed by them. Now that we've explored mindful breathing and emotional observation, let's dive into a practice that brings it all together: heart-centered meditation. This powerful technique helps you connect your emotions to your spiritual core, bringing a sense of balance and harmony to your emotional life. Here's how it works. Start by sitting comfortably and taking a few deep breaths, just like we practiced earlier. Now, bring your attention to the center of your chest, where your heart is. Imagine there's a warm, glowing light in your heart. This light represents your true self, your spiritual essence. As you focus on this heart center, think of a positive feeling like love, gratitude, or peace. Let this feeling grow in your heart. Imagine the warm light expanding, filling your whole body with this positive emotion. Now, here's where it gets interesting. While keeping your attention on your heart, notice any other emotions that come up. Maybe you feel a twinge of sadness or a flutter of anxiety. Whatever it is, imagine bringing that emotion into the warm light of your heart. This doesn't mean trying to change the emotion. You're simply holding it in the space of your heart, surrounding it with the warmth and light you've cultivated. It's like giving the emotion a gentle, loving hug. What often happens is that even difficult emotions start to soften when held in this heart space. They might not disappear completely, but they usually become less overwhelming. You might even start to understand these emotions better, seeing the wisdom or the need they're expressing. This practice is powerful because it connects your everyday emotions to your spiritual energy. In many spiritual traditions, the heart is seen as more than just a physical organ. It's viewed as the seat of the soul, the center of our being. By bringing your emotions into your heart space, you're aligning them with your deeper self. Heart-centered meditation can help you develop emotional resilience. When you practice regularly, you create a kind of emotional home base, a calm, centered place you can return to even when strong feelings arise. It's important to remember that this isn't about suppressing or denying your emotions. It's about creating a loving, accepting space for all your feelings. This acceptance, paradoxically, often leads to positive change. When we stop fighting our emotions and start listening to them with our hearts, we often find that they have important messages for us. As you practice heart-centered meditation, you might notice that you become more compassionate, not just with others, but with yourself too. This self-compassion is a key part of emotional mastery. It allows you to face all your feelings, even the difficult ones, with courage and kindness. Now that we've explored some powerful techniques for emotional control, let's talk about how to weave these practices into your daily life. After all, true mastery comes from consistent practice, not just knowing the techniques. First up, let's talk about gratitude. This simple practice can have a huge impact on your emotional state. Each day, take a moment to think of 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big things. Maybe you're thankful for your morning coffee, a kind word from a friend, or the warmth of the sun on your face. By focusing on gratitude, you're training your mind to notice the positive aspects of your life. This can help balance out negative emotions and create a more optimistic outlook. Another powerful daily practice is using positive affirmations. These are short, positive statements that you repeat to yourself. For example, you might say, "I am calm and centered," or "I handle challenges with grace." At first, these might feel a bit silly or unnatural, but stick with it. Over time, these affirmations can help reshape your thoughts and emotions in a positive way. Nature walks are another great way to maintain emotional balance. There's something deeply calming about being in nature. Even a short walk in a park or sitting under a tree for a few minutes can help reset your emotional state. As you walk, try to really notice your surroundings. Feel the ground beneath your feet, listen to the birds, smell the fresh air. This kind of mindful connection with nature can help ground you and put your emotions in perspective. Journaling is another helpful tool for emotional balance. Spend a few minutes each day writing down your thoughts and feelings. This can help you process your emotions and gain insights into patterns in your emotional life. Don't worry about writing perfectly. This is just for you. Remember the breathing exercises we talked about earlier? Try to incorporate short breathing breaks throughout your day. Even just a minute of mindful breathing can help center you and keep your emotions balanced. Lastly, consider starting or ending your day with a short meditation. This doesn't have to be long. Even 5 minutes can make a difference. You could use the heart-centered meditation we discussed, or simply sit quietly and observe your breath and your thoughts. The key to all these practices is consistency. It's better to do a little bit every day than to do a lot once in a while. Think of it like watering a plant. Regular, small amounts of water help the plant grow strong and healthy. In the same way, these daily practices nourish your emotional well-being, helping you grow more resilient and balanced over time. Even with all these tools and practices, there will still be times when emotions feel overwhelming. That's completely normal. Emotional mastery is a journey, not a destination. Let's talk about how to handle these challenging moments. First, remember that it's okay to feel strong emotions. The goal isn't to never feel angry, sad, or afraid. These are natural human experiences. The key is how you respond to these feelings. When you're faced with a strong emotion, the first step is to acknowledge it. Say to yourself, "I'm feeling really angry right now," or "This situation is making me feel anxious." Just naming the emotion can help you start to gain some distance from it. Next, remember your breath. Take a few deep breaths, just like we practiced earlier. This can help calm your body's stress response and give you a moment to think more clearly. Now, try to bring in some self-compassion. Treat yourself as you would a good friend who's struggling. You might say to yourself, "This is a tough moment, but I can handle it," or "It's okay to feel this way." Everyone has difficult emotions sometimes. If possible, take a short break from the situation. Step outside, go to a quiet room, or even just close your eyes for a moment. This can give you some space to reset. Remember the emotional observation technique we talked about? Try to watch your emotion like a cloud passing in the sky. Notice how it feels in your body. Is your heart racing? Are your muscles tense? Just observe these sensations without judging them. Another helpful approach is to look for the lesson or the growth opportunity in the challenging emotion. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this feeling? Sometimes, our most difficult emotions can be our greatest teachers. If you're dealing with a recurring emotional challenge, it can be helpful to seek support. This might mean talking to a trusted friend, joining a support group, or working with a therapist or counselor. Remember, seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Lastly, be patient with yourself. Developing emotional mastery takes time. You wouldn't expect to run a marathon without training, right? In the same way, managing your emotions is a skill that develops with practice. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small it might seem. From a spiritual perspective, these challenging moments are opportunities for growth. They're chances to deepen your understanding of yourself and to strengthen your connection to your inner wisdom. Each time you face a difficult emotion with awareness and compassion, you're growing stronger and more resilient. As we come to the end of our exploration of emotional control, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned. We've discovered that emotions are not our enemies, but powerful messengers that can guide us towards growth and self-understanding. We've learned practical techniques like mindful breathing, emotional observation, and heart-centered meditation that can help us navigate our emotional landscape with more ease and grace. Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate emotions or to always feel happy. The aim is to develop a new relationship with your feelings, one where you can experience the full range of human emotions without being overwhelmed by them. This is what true emotional mastery looks like. We've also explored daily practices that can help maintain emotional balance, from gratitude exercises to nature walks. These simple habits, when practiced consistently, can lead to profound shifts in how you experience and respond to your emotions. And we've talked about how to face challenges when emotions run high, reminding ourselves that it's okay to struggle sometimes and that each difficult moment is an opportunity for growth. As you move forward from here, I encourage you to be patient and kind with yourself. Changing how you relate to your emotions is a journey, not a destination. There will be ups and downs along the way, and that's completely normal. Each step you take, each time you pause to breathe or observe your emotions, you're growing stronger and more emotionally resilient. Remember, you have the power to shape your emotional life. You're not at the mercy of your feelings. With practice and persistence, you can learn to guide your emotions rather than being controlled by them. I invite you to start incorporating these practices into your daily life. Maybe begin with just a few minutes of mindful breathing each day, or try the gratitude exercise before bed. Start small and build from there. Over time, you'll likely notice a shift in how you experience and respond to your emotions. Thank you for joining me on this journey of emotional discovery and growth. I hope these insights and practices serve you well as you continue on your path to emotional mastery. Remember, every moment is an opportunity to choose how you want to feel and respond. You have the power within you to create a rich, balanced emotional life. As you go forward, carry with you the knowledge that you are more than your emotions. You are the aware presence that can observe, understand, and guide your feelings. This awareness is your greatest tool on the path to emotional mastery. May your journey be filled with self-discovery, growth, and moments of profound peace and joy. Here's to your emotional well-being and to the beautiful, balanced life that awaits you as you master the art of emotional control.